Good, happy Tuesday morning, September 15, 2020. I'm Riley King, and welcome to the Riley King Newscast, right here on the Riley King Network. We have a lot of news to get to this Tuesday morning, so let's begin. First up, let's begin with the latest COVID-19 data information for New Hampshire. Let's take a look at that right now. And here is a look at that information for all of you right now. There are 7,714 number of people in New Hampshire have tested positive for COVID-19. 6,535,105 number of people in the United States have tested positive. 436 number of deaths from COVID-19 in New Hampshire. 721 number of people have been hospitalized with COVID-19 in New Hampshire. And 238 number of deaths from COVID-19 in the United States. And let's take a look at this map of New Hampshire where current cases of COVID-19 are. Manchester, 42. And let's take a look at this map of New Hampshire where total cases of COVID-19 are. Manchester, 1993. And let's take a look at this chart here. Let's start with the first chart here. New cases each day in New Hampshire in the purple, daily new positive COVID-19 cases. In the orange, new hospitalizations, and in the red are the deaths. And let's take a look at this chart here. Current cases. In the purple, total current COVID-19 cases, and in the orange, current hospitalizations. And let's take a look at this chart here. Total cases. In the purple, total positive COVID-19 cases. In the orange, total hospitalizations, red deaths, and blue recovered. And let's take a look at this chart here. Age group of cases, female and male of cases, and risk information. And let's take a look at this chart here. Infections, hospitalizations, and deaths. And let's take a look at this chart here. Deaths, percent of New Hampshire population, race/ethnicity of cases, and hospitalizations. And a reminder, your common symptoms: fever, lack of smell, cough, difficult breathing, chills, nausea, vomiting, and diarrhea. How it spreads, and prevention tips. And be sure to stay with the Riley King Network for the latest of your COVID-19 information. Barrington Elementary School students sent home after positive COVID-19 tests. School plans to return to in-person learning next week. Let's take a listen to that video from WMUR News 9.
Chapel tractor has been in our family since 1955, when great-grandfather Pearlie and our grandfather George decided to sell tractors out of their barn with a work ethic.
Barrington Elementary students and staff are pivoting to remote learning for the rest of the week. The decision to dismiss students today happening very quickly.
We received notification this morning that we have a few positive cases at the elementary school. And out of an abundance of caution, we notified all of our families and all of our staff.
The state epidemiologist confirms that DHHS is now investigating, but he isn't surprised.
We can expect students and staff to be identified with COVID-19 throughout the year. That's not necessarily cause for alarm.
He says a handful of schools have reported infections since reopening, but have been sporadic cases.
They have not indicated or been indicative of a cluster in the school system or an outbreak in the school system.
He credits the lack of spread to schools implementing guidelines from social distancing to masks and cleaning. Barrington Elementary expected to return to in-person next Monday.
During that time, we will complete a deep cleaning process to that school facility.
Public Health also providing transition guidelines that involve community transmission data and level of school impact.
What's the number of kids and staff diagnosed with COVID-19 in a school? Or is there a cluster in the school? What's the school absenteeism rate? Is there adequate staffing to be able to maintain school functions?
Now, even if a community transmission rate is down, a school district might not have the physical space to continue to social distance students if they all return at the same time. There's a link on our website to the considerations that schools should take into consideration when they're transitioning between those models. We're live in Portsmouth. Jennifer Crompton, WMUR News 9.
Okay, and there you go on that video and that report. U.S. stock features in positive territory after Monday's rally. U.S. stock features ticked slightly higher early Tuesday morning after the market kicked off the week with a broader-based rally. 16,000 firefighters battle California blaze. Let's take a listen to that video from ABC News.
Emergency to several states in the West watching that urgent search underway also at this hour for the missing in the wildfires. More than 70 fires now burning in 10 states tonight. At least 27 people have now died. Many are still missing. Some are family members who called for help, but relatives could not get to them. A fire in the Angeles National Forest flaring up, prompting new evacuations in just the past 24 hours. Thousands of homes have now been destroyed. Much of Talent, Oregon, wiped off the map. From Los Angeles to Portland to Seattle, some of the unhealthiest air in the world now. In fact, families are being warned to simply stay inside. President Trump in the California fire zone today, the governor there pleading directly to the president to look at the evidence that climate change is real. President Trump then telling state authorities it'll start getting cooler. Just watch. ABC's Will Carr from the fire zone tonight.
Tonight, new red flag warnings are pushing the 16,000 battle-tested firefighters in California's front lines to the brink.
We got the BFAS coming in. We're going to try to box it in.
The relentless spot fires are only expected to get worse throughout the week, threatening hundreds of more homes. The record-breaking fires have delivered a tragic toll, at least 27 killed. The North Complex fire has seen 2,000 structures damaged or destroyed. Tonight, the town of Berry Creek is a wasteland. The area is 5 miles wide, and everything in sight is incinerated.
Everything you ever owned in your life and collected is all right there.
While volunteer fire captain Reed Rankin was rushing to evacuate his neighbors, his own home was burning.
Just living here where we want it to be in. And it's just gone. It's heartbreaking.
At least 71 major fires are burning through the West. In Oregon, they're warning of a mass fatality incident with at least 22 people missing in the state after the flames have wiped out at least 6 towns. Search crews and canines taking on the grim task of scouring through the rubble while residents return in utter despair.
It's the worst thing I've ever seen in my life. I've seen videos, but it's 1,000 times worse than I could have ever imagined.
Tonight, the smoke remains a dangerous hazard to millions. San Francisco, Los Angeles, and Seattle had the worst air qualities in the world. In Portland, officials say no one should be outside, warning anyone who has to go out should wear an N95, a precious commodity during the pandemic.
Children are particularly sensitive to smoke because their respiratory systems are still developing, their airways are smaller.
Back in Northern California, Dalen Cameron has lived in this area for 58 years. He's now seen his neighbors' homes burned for the second time. The first during the Camp Fire, California's deadliest ever just 2 years ago.
It's a perfect storm. That perfect storm, the wind came up out of the canyon, took that fire up and blew it over. And once it gets up so fast, you can't stop it.
And knowing some of the other homes in this area were burned.
It's sad. said.
The best way that I can describe the air we're surrounded by tonight here is a choking smoke. That's why I had my mask on. Now, this smoke is supposed to dissipate in this area by the end of the week, but then there's going to be a renewed fire danger. And keep in mind that California tends to get its worst fires at the end of the year, in November and December, so we still have a long way to go. David.
Those charred-out vehicles tell the story there, Will. Our thanks to you tonight. And as we...
Hi, everybody.
Okay, and there you go on that video and that report. And that does it for this morning edition of the Riley King Newscast, right here on the Riley King Network. Thank you for watching. Have a great rest of your morning, and have a great rest of your day. See you back here later on today for another newscast. I'll have a news report coming up in a little bit. Goodbye, everyone.